I've always found Wally Warbles to be a deceitfully hard boss on Expert. On Regular, Wally is really not that difficult at all, while on Expert, these eggs always get in the way. Anyways, I've gotten much better at Wally and decided to make an S-rank guide for you all to help with S-ranking this monster of a boss. The loadout is going to be pretty simple here, just use Divine Relic. I've already mentioned why Divine Relic is so good in my previous guide on Dr. Call, but if you don't know, it simply gives you a ton of charm effects for the price of randomizing your weapon, which is not bad at all for plane levels. If you don't have Divine Relic, Heart Ring would probably be your best bet, otherwise use Smoke Bomb. None of the other charms really have much use here, and without the DLC, Smoke Bomb can be very clutch for dodging attacks. Now let's get into the fight. I'm going to try something different and try to keep this guide as simple as possible, and assume that you know how each phase of the fight works, so I won't be going too in-depth on each separate attack. With that, the first phase's main difficulty is the eggs he shoots that split and cover a huge area of the fight. The way I try to counter this is when he is shooting an egg, I pretty much stay around this area of the screen and concentrate completely on dodging the egg and the splitting eggshells. You should still try to hit him if you can, but I leave most of the damage I do for when he is not shooting eggs. The time requirement is not too much of a problem as long as you're not taking an excessive amount of time on each phase, so I would recommend not worrying too much if you aren't hitting Wally while dodging the egg and eggshells. Wally also has his bullet attack that is telegraphed heavily, so reacting to it is as simple as going into your mini plane mode and dodging the bullets. For the birds that fly across the screen, shooting them down if they're in the way is what I do, but other than that, I tend to ignore them and parry the last bird if I can. If you're using Divine Relic, you can parry the birds with Whetstone to get rid of them, which can come in clutch. Other than that, just keep on shooting and EX whenever you can, and you should be onto his next phase within around 35 seconds. Wally will move on to his next phase and blast a ton of feathers towards you. This is honestly easy to dodge, but what you generally want to do is stay on the same height as Wally's head and shoot while dodging only when you need to. Focus your attention on dodging, since you'll still be hitting him a bit when you're dodging. I'd recommend not going into your mini plane form unless you have to, since it can mess with your flow more than help. The feathers are pretty slow and easy to react to, so just play it safe, stay in your head height at all times, and focus on slowly dodging the feathers. If the birds are in your way, get rid of them ASAP. Get your super ready by the end of this phase since it will come in handy for his next phase. Once Wally falls out of his birdhouse, get in close and wait for Willy to appear, then use your super. After, keep close and shoot with either pea shooter or bombs for a while until the eggs rotating around him start closing in. Back up and shoot with pea shooter from afar, and of course get any parries you can. When the eggs are completely surrounding him, use bombs to deal splash damage to him. With the super damage, Willy should go down around when the eggs expand and close in again for the second time. His last phase is a bit of a doozy, so it's important to play carefully if you need to. So when Willy goes down, there's some time between the phase change, so I like to go up to the top left corner and use bombs until Wally comes back. By doing this, you'll do a lot of early damage. Move away, of course, once he starts moving or attacking. You generally want to stay as far away from his head as possible, since that's where his personal attacks come from, and use bombs for the majority of the fight. Wally will sway side to side, and when he sways to the right, go down to his height and try to spam as many pea shooter EXs as you can. This will do massive damage, but don't be too cocky and retreat if you mess up or can't get down fast enough. Note that when Wally shoots his heart up, his body no longer is his hitbox, meaning that any attacks made towards his body and not his heart won't deal any damage. Because of this, when he does his heart attack, stay back and use pea shooter to track his heart and deal damage. The rest of the fight is just using bombs and dodging all the projectiles that come towards you. Even though at this point of the boss fight you should have most, if not all your parries, I still recommend getting any parries if you can, so you can spam more EX shots. Well, that's pretty much all I gotta say for this boss fight. Hopefully this was of some help to you, and if so, I'd appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, and shared this video to help out the channel. Also, check out my other S-rank guides for help on other troublesome bosses. With all of that, best of luck with your S-ranks.